Chat, here we go. We got another quarterfinal. This time it's going to be Rw9 and Shadi. I think people are excited to watch Shadi play because Shadi came out of nowhere. Came out of absolutely nowhere, if I'm being honest. You know, to be fair, it could be my ignorance, right? You know, maybe everybody's sitting in chat knowing, but actually, I take that back. I know that chat doesn't know because they've been asking who Shadi is as well. But we're about to find out who Shadi is. And his biggest highlight on my stream, he did play, I think, in the Swiss, that final round of Swiss. We got to see him in the best of 3. But against Rw9, I mean, this would be an insane coming out party if he was able to beat Rw9 in a best of 5. Because Rw9 looking like the best player in the tournament so far. 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. His best of 3 Swiss went as good as it could possibly go. And he's trying to continue that here today as he slots a bottom right shot. Rw9, a member of Rw9. Rw9, we are big Rw9 fans here in the Feer world. They were just barely not able to qualify for the major. But it sounds like they will be going to Rotterdam based on some Twitter activity I've seen. So the Rw9 squad gets to meet up there, which should be nice. But Shadi would love to end the Rw9 run right here and now. He looked tough against the top players. In fact, these two guys played each other. Rw9's first round of the Swiss was against Shadi, and he 2-0'd him. I don't know what the score lines were for those games. I didn't go back and check, although I imagine on Wikipedia you could see them. I would imagine that Rw9 won with relative ease, but only because, you know, he's one of the best there is. We'll see how he does today against them. 3-1. He went down 1-0, and a sparkle in everyone's eye. I thought, is Shadi it? But Rw9 is trying to stuff that out quickly as he goes up 3-1. Can you more often say what you think is going to be the outcome of the series you're casting? You know, I can. I could talk about it more often. I know I like to hold off when everybody does the channel points in chat because they're all betting, and I think the person who's talking has the ability to heavily influence everybody's decisions. And I don't know, I kind of like the idea of letting everybody just pick for themselves at first. But I'll tell you the real result of this match, the most likely result, I don't know what you guys picked, is a Rw9 3-0. I think the reality is Rw9 is very established, experienced in tournaments. He made it to the grand finals of the last tournament that we did like this called the Swamp. And Shadi is new to the scene. And, you know, it's not often that players explode and are able to compete against a guy like Rw9. So yes, if I was in chat and I had channel points to predict, I think I would have put them on Rw9 3-0. But you never know. The Cinderella stories are always the most exciting. And there isn't really a flaw in Shadi's game that I've seen, the very little that I've watched him. You know, sometimes you see the up-and-comers and you're like, oh yeah, he's got a really good one's knowledge, but he lacks the mechanics. He'll never be able to match, you know, the highly mechanical players, or maybe the opposite. Like, yeah, he can hit everything, but you know, he just doesn't have the knowledge that he needs. This is a good shot by Rw9, by the way, just to adjust off of getting bumped. So he does seem to be well-rounded in the games that I've watched. He beat Toxic, who was a grand finalist in the recent EU 1v1 tournament that Johnny ran. So, you know, that was not a small win by any means. Rw9, though, has proven that he's been playing well in this tournament and is up 6-1. This was definitely, was it a Feels backflip or something from Shadi? I mean, Shadi just didn't set up well at all in net. Did you not believe that Rw9 could do that? He didn't seem to just worry about it at all. He's like, yeah, Rw9 is headed to my net, but I think I'm just going to chill here on the back wall. You know you got to cover that net, bud. Rw9 is not one to miss very often. Trying to go for a ground double, and Rw9 cuts it off and makes it 7-1. I tell you what, Rw9 says Cinderella stories are cool, but the story ends here and now. Absolutely running it up. Maybe he's lagging. It's possible. We could get a new server for these guys. We do play on EU servers. I've stopped asking the Middle Eastern guys when they play each other if they want to play on EU, because I've never once been told that they want to play on the Middle East servers, so I just assume EU. So Rw9 has 90 ping. That's a great shot. And Shadi has 108. So he does seem to have one of the worst connections of the players who play from Saudi Arabia and Europe servers. Rw9, another goal. Comes off with an orange trail, so it looks kind of like it could be an own goal, but you can tell that was Shadi's last chance at preventing it. Shadi with a potential wall-to-air dribble. Doesn't take it, wants to play on the ground, something that his opponent does as well, more so than any of the other top ones players. The only time it's really, you know, important or interesting to see what they decide to do is when they get those perfect wall-to-air dribble setups, right? If you win that kickoff and the ball is rolling slowly right over the boost and basically begging you to go wall-to-air dribble, and then you see somebody, you know, corral around it, not take it, that's when it's very clear the stylistic decision of that 1v1 player. Because even players who are pretty neutral will still realize that, you know, this good of a setup is probably worth taking. And some players don't like to. Rw9 is probably one of the biggest ones I could think of, who just, in 1v1, he likes to play through the ground normally, as he tries to prove me wrong by slamming this ball to the ceiling and then going for a pogo. I think it's a bit different. He has a 9-2 lead right now, and I think he might be experimenting a bit. But normally, very safe, very grounded type 1v1er. Even though he's got the ability to play anything, and you could see it when he plays 2s and 3s. Shadi has found really nothing at all here in this game. Rw9, was he thinking for a second pogo? Shadi's going to leave the party, and will be a third goal for him. Maybe the party was holding him back. "30 seconds, 6 goals. I don't see a world in which Shadi wins this game. But he did have a lead. Did have a lead at 1-0. Rw9 only took him a few seconds, I would say, before erasing that lead and then taking full control of this game. Rw9 to the top shelf. Actually, a really good save from Shadi in and out of the net. And he gets to the next one. So, hey, that could do well for the mental going into game number 2. Unless, of course, Rw9 just clips on you at 0 seconds. In which case, you know, maybe that undoes it. But, hey, not a bad game number 1 for Shadi. He is going to have to shake it off if he wants a chance in this series. He invited me to join the party, but as long as he stays... Oh, he left the match. Got it. So I do need to accept that. Game number 2. Rw9 and Shadi. At least that's what we're going with for the duration of this tournament. And then I'll hear how Nawis said it. I should have done that in between. Oh, Shadi's got his player banner. Look at this shot. He just needed to be in a Fennec, apparently. Or actually, he scored first goal last time, too. But yeah, I'll go into Nawis's VOD because he streamed it. Yeah, he streamed his games yesterday. And so I can hear the correct way to say it. And then I'll work on it, I promise. And as always, being an English speaker, there's a chance that when I hear it the right way, I still won't be able to repeat it. I'll try and you guys go, what? No, that's wrong. I'll be like, okay, well, I'm doing my best. So there's that. Rw9 right now trying to play a bit of keep away with Shadi in the orange half. Almost got an impossible angle. I don't know if there was a window where he could not touch the near post and still make it inside far post. Shadi able to get his own boost. He should be able to escape here. Yeah, Rw9 gonna back off. F-Hus says I'm doing it right. Exactly like daddy, but Shadi. See, I'm worried that people who I'm worried that people who don't know how to say it are coming in here and telling me how to say it. Lost. Good recovery after the challenge to make sure he doesn't fly away from the play. Flips towards it. Able to get his first goal. Shadi was looking good at the start of this game. A lead in a minute 30 before Rw9 gets his goal. Shadi air dribble bump, and it works. Rw9, I've talked about it before, is one of the best air dribble bump defenders in the game. But apparently not on Shadi's. I think one of the reasons why this one works so well is such a high arc. Shadi off the kickoff, taking this back into his half. And Rw9 is going to leave, deciding not to try and pressure him. Instead, going to go back for the 100 boost. And oh my goodness, that flick had the power. Certainly not what it was lacking, but placed a bit high, which is the difficult part of those boomer flicks. I think a lot of people can get a ton of power on them. It's a bit easier to get a ton of power when you are launching it a bit higher. When it becomes really tough is to scream that much of a shot just underneath the crossbar. Rw9 going to get a demo, tie up the game. Still, Shadi is doing a good job of keeping the lead, coming back and forth. I mean, Rw9 has only been able to tie the game up, and a kickoff win for Shadi. The Fennec has been the answer so far. The kickoffs have always been a way to neutralize a game if you can get a lead on them. I wouldn't say Shadi's necessarily had a lead on them, but he at least has matched Rw9. Rw9, look at top left. You just know the flick is going to be pure, and Shadi's going to have a tough time saving it. Did his best to hold on to 17 boost so that he could use it to make the save, but it didn't matter. Rw9 now, kickoff win off the bounce. He's going to air dribble bump right back. And better than just getting the defender to miss, he says, I'm going to delete you completely. Rw9, maybe one of the best air dribble bump defenders, but looks like he's just as good with it on offense. Wait, chat, you're dying of cringe when Rw9 did it. Why do I feel like I didn't see any dies of cringe when Shadi did it? Is this a double standard? Rw9 once again forced on the defense off kickoff. Shadi good 50. Not going to be able to win this race to the boost, but even better, he's going to be close enough to demo Rw9, but this setup is one that he can't turn in for a goal. That backflip is not great. He does a little camera check to see if he's getting scored on, and the answer is yes. He's like, do I have to get up? Are you about to go steal this and shoot it? And I'm not sure it matters whether Rw9 was up early or not. I mean, Shadi knew he was in big trouble. (5-3). The inevitable seems to be happening. Rw9 is beginning to get his lead. He's trying to go for a huge air dribble bump. And he does exactly that. These are the kind of air dribble bumps that actually are a bit easier to escape, as long as you can prevent the guy from coming down and hitting you like a homing missile. You can usually find a way to get it out of net, but Shadi could not. Shadi, good shot here. Wanted to modify to great because this is a perfect execution to punish Rw9. I mean, oh man, feels backflip. You get that kind of speed and it doesn't matter. You know, you can go for good placement. You can try and put it behind Rw9 and it might make it tough. You could probably score there with less speed, Or you could just absolutely boom the ball, and chances that Rw9 reacts in time are fairly low. Good save from Shadi, but on 0 boost, and Rw9 is taking the pads as well in the process of starving him out. Oh, Rw9, wait, Shadi got the save. Wow, it's actually pretty rare that defenders try and react to the initial dribble and then don't get exposed when it just turns into a fake bounce, but Shadi able to clip it with the tail end of his car. And now he's got 2 to make up in under a minute, and this one will do it. Wait, no, Shadi, he saved it himself, and then he sent himself into the net, so he couldn't follow it back up. And then Rw9 just spawns right next to the ball. So just worst case scenario on everything after such a good play. And now it's Rw9 scoring, so too bad for Shadi. 31 seconds now to make up 3. He's done a decent job on the kickoffs. Rw9 wave dash, though, cuts underneath. If Shadi had been a little bit lower to the ground, he would have gotten bumped to the boost, and it actually would have been a win for him. Oh, Rw9 trying to pogo. I love it, I love it, I love it. We could get a Rw9 pogo by the end of the series, certainly, right? Although, I'll be honest, that setup didn't seem too good. Not sure if that was a single mistake or if that's a sign that Rw9 hasn't put in a ton of practice on it yet. I don't know. Shadi getting a goal, but it does just seem like a consolation goal, barring a massive collapse on 2 straight kickoffs from Rw9. Rw9 2-0. I told the chatters the best bet was probably Rw9 3-0. We'll see if that's true as we head to game 3. It will just be a different Fennec for Rw9 in game number 3. Yo, Lumi, thank you for the Prime for 2 months. Love the streams. Keep up the good work. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. And the more Primes you give, the more likely I will. But I'll probably do it either way, if I'm being honest. Oh, look at the shot from Rw9 to start it off. Shadi's actually back in the Octane. His performance looked pretty solid in the Fennec. He was able to keep the game, I would say, close and questionable who was going to win in the outcome for probably 3 minutes, 3-4 minutes. Whereas in his Octane game, the answer was very obvious very quickly. But Shadi staying in this one. Update the overlay. Oh, did I not hit the update button? Because I hit the 2 button. Maybe I forgot to hit the update button. Rw9 retaking the lead. 2-1. Rw9 has now won, what is it? 8 straight games? 8 straight games since he won 6-0 in the Swiss in order to make it here. Now 2 straight against Shadi. So he's at 8-0. He's trying to make it 9-0 on his way to the semifinals. Long shot from him. Catches Shadi out of position, even though it's a roller. Rollers, you know, usually leave that window to be intercepted. They're not quite as strong. Still, it's enough. Is there going to be only MENA tourney, or do they count as EU? They are part of the EU tourney. Basically, EU servers. We're just, most of the time when I do 2 different tournaments, it's just a US East tournament, as in like the servers, but of course US West, SAM, you know, anybody who wants to play on US East and thinks they can get wins can play. Same thing with Europe. We're going to play it on European servers. And so anybody who thinks that they can win on European servers, which of course all the Middle East guys play it anyways, so they definitely are ready to do so. They can play it. Shadi smart to take this boost in order to force Rw9 to leave. And not a great first touch. We'll see if he can make anything out of it, but way too lateral. And he has to try and catch back up to it and maybe 50. I mean, Rw9 has such an easy read on that. You have to keep the ball closer. Take it higher. Could a U.S. East player play in an EU tourney? That's a good question. I would say no, only because they have such an obvious better tournament to play in. So yeah, I guess there is some exception, because I think there actually was a U.S. East player who was trying to queue for the EU tourney, and I was like, no. You had the U.S. East tourney, and if it didn't work out for you there, then give the EU guys some chance. So yeah, I would say, I guess the caveat is if you have an obviously better server for you, then that's the tournament that you have to play. Rw9 slicing and dicing Shadi here as he half flips on the kickoff. The wave dash past the ball and then slotting it the opposite way. You know, I don't know if this is the same kind of blunder of a Tau switching from the Batmobile back to the Fennec or whatever it was. But we had a Tau recently get crushed in one car. He switched to the Batmobile. He dominated. And then for some reason the next game he switched off of it. And the domination swapped right back, which to me felt like a tad bit of a throw. I don't know if it's the same level here for Shadi after playing a pretty good Fennec game. You know, a much better Fennec game than he did in Octane, and then switching back. And now just going right back to the previous Octane game where it was just Rw9 immediately in control. Because the thing about this matchup is it's hard to imagine a world in which Shadi comes back from this deficit, right? Now, if he had started off this hot, the game would still be interesting, because I'd probably still have faith in Rw9 to bring back 7 goals. But the way Rw9 is looking right now against Shadi, Shadi's just gonna throw GGs. I mean, he could play out the last 230, but no, he's decided that he wants some mercy. Can Rw9 pogo? Pogo? That'll be the end of Shadi's magical run. Rw9 was too much. 9 straight wins for him, but can he hit a pogo? Oh, looks like he hasn't practiced it. Looks like he hasn't practiced it. Can't. That's okay. That's okay. We forgive you. Better than Feer's pogo? True. Alright, he's going to try it again. Yeah, no. Oh, wait, that's actually pretty good. Oh my goodness, wait a second. I thought... So everyone else does it on the corner. I called it early. This is why I don't do it. It seems like he just went straight full... I mean, he kind of used his boost. that was good. That was good. But like Dark and the people who get a ton of pop without any boost, they definitely go corner. So he lined it up with his full front of his hitbox hitting the nose. So I didn't think he was going to get a bounce, but he got just enough that he could just boost his way back up. So it was still pogo for sure. His butt hit the ground. Did it? I think he kept it up. Because his butt fell right back towards the ball. But I think he boosted and kept it up. I don't think it fully touched the ground. Corner plus a bit of backward toward roof. Yeah, that's what it seems like, right? I totally agree with you. That's why I called it that he had missed it already when he was coming down the ground. I'm like, oh, I could tell he's lining it up full hitbox, which, you know, it's not the way that it seems like it works best, but obviously he got it. Yeah, we can just go to the next show match. I wanted to see if Ross looks like he might be trying one more, or he might just... Okay. GG's. We'll pop out of this game. I wanted to give him a chance to hit another pogo.